Hi everyone, this is Dental Nerd Talks. Today I will be discussing the basic anatomical terms which form the foundation for understanding human anatomy. So, why do we need anatomical terms? Anatomical terms are used to precisely describe the location and position of body parts so that we can explain and describe the location of features on the body. Our common language is very vague and non-specific. So this anatomical terms provides a universal language for anatomy. Next is anatomical position. Anatomical position is a standard reference position to describe the human body. The structures are described in this position. Every anatomical description is made in this position. The position is body is standing erect, head and eye facing forward, upper limbs by the side of the body, palms are facing forward, lower limbs together, feet pointing forward. Even if a patient is lying unconscious or simply lying down or inverted, all anatomical terms are described with respect to this position only. That is the anatomical position only. Next, we are going into the basic directional terms. First one is left and right. When we say left and right, we are referring to the person who is in anatomical position. In this case, left and right refers to the subject's left and right side in the anatomical position, not the observer. So, when you're watching this video, you are the observer. It's not from your point of view, it is the subject's perspective, that is, subject's left and right side. Always remember it is the subject side, otherwise, you will get confused. Here, you can see a dark dot, that is a mole near to the navel. So, it is on the left side of the navel. Next direction term is anterior and posterior. Anterior is towards the front of the body, another term is ventral. Posterior is towards the back of the body, another term is dorsal. For example, we have the chest bone, that is a sternum. Sternum is anterior to heart and vertebral column is posterior to the heart. Superior and inferior. Superior is above or towards the head. Inferior is below or towards the feet. For example, head is superior to the neck and stomach is inferior to the heart. Next directional term is proximal and distal. Used when describing 2 points on the same limb, that is either arm or leg. Used only for limbs. Proximal is closer to where arm or leg inserted into body. Distal is far away from where arm or leg inserts into the body. That is, proximal is closer to the point of attachment. Distal is far away from the point of attachment. For example, elbow. Comparing elbow and wrist. Okay, elbow is proximal to the wrist. That is, elbow is more closer to the attachment. And fingers are distal to the wrist. Next is medial and lateral. These terms describe the position of structures in relation to the midline. Midline is that red line in the picture, just going to the center of the body. So, medial is closer to the midline and lateral is away from the midline. Here, point A is closer to the midline. So, that is A is medial to B. And here, point B is far away from the midline. So, B is lateral to A. So, we have talked about base directional terms. So, what about the internal structures? If you want to study about the internal structure, body is divided by imaginary planes. That's called anatomical planes. That the body is cut into slices. It's not the actual cut, it is an imaginary division. So this planes, anatomical planes, helps in understanding internal anatomy and helps in describing the location of organs. There are three major planes, that is sagittal, coronal or frontal, transverse plane, and one additional plane, that is the oblique plane. So first one is the sagittal plane. This is a lengthwise cut. It divides the body into left and right portions. So if the cut is through the midline, it is called mid-sagittal plane. If the cut is not through the midline, it is called parasagittal plane. So if it is through the midline, it gives equal left and right portions. If it is not through the midline, it will give unequal left and right portions. Next is frontal plane or coronal plane. It is a sidewise cut. It divides the body into anterior and posterior portion. So you can see that red line, it is the frontal plane. Okay, it divides into one anterior and one posterior division. Next is the transverse plane. This is an horizontal cut. It divides into upper superior and lower inferior portion. Next is the additional plane, that is the oblique plane. Any diagonal section is an oblique plane. So far we have discussed anatomical position, directional terms and anatomical planes. So these together form the basic language of anatomy. So let us revise once more. First we have talked about the anatomical position. This is the anatomical position. And next is the left and right directional terms, that is left and right, anterior and posterior, superior and inferior, proximal and distal, medial and lateral. And to learn about the internal structures, we have talked about the planes. Three major planes: sagittal, coronal or frontal, and transverse. One additional plane, that is the oblique plane. Sagittal plane, lengthwise cut; frontal plane, sidewise cut; transverse plane, horizontal cut; and final oblique plane. I hope this video was helpful. If you found it useful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Thank you.